You know, it's a great source of lean protein, but the truth is, when it comes to chicken breast, it's hard to ignore its tendency to be bland, boring, and dry. The good news, I've discovered how to prep it in a way that I actually don't dread eating, without heavy sauces or complicated marinades. Not only is this method really simple, it gives you tender, juicy chicken every time. You can cook a big batch to have now and freeze for later, so when chicken breast goes on sale, you can stock up with confidence. In today's video, I will be showing you how to make chicken breast your meal prep bestie again, and 3 simple, tasty ways that I'm incorporating it into my meal plan this week to help me hit my protein goals and stay on track with all of my other targets. And whatever I don't use, I'll be storing in the freezer. I will also give you a couple of tips for that as well, so be sure to stick around to the end. If you're new here, I'm Margaret, and this is Future Me Eats, where good food meets midlife reinvention. As a woman approaching 60, I am learning how to live, move, and eat in a way that my future self will thank me for. So living alone doesn't mean having to eat the same thing all week, which is why I have been really leaning into component prepping lately. And having proteins like chicken breast cooked and ready to go really makes mealtime so much easier. So when I first came across this method for cooking chicken breast, I knew I had to try it. The trick is cooking it low and slow, ideally in a crock pot. You can do this with boneless or bone-in chicken. I have done it with both and they turn out great. You will just need to adjust the cooking times a little bit for the bone-in chicken. And of course, if you don't have a crock pot, you can also do this in the oven. I did it both ways for today's video because I had a lot of chicken to prep. For either method, you want to place your chicken in a single layer in the bottom of your pot. Next, add your choice of seasonings. I'm going to be keeping it really simple with this batch and just use salt and pepper. I will do this right in the pot, season one side, then flip it over and repeat. Keeping it simple is really great if you're planning to use the chicken in recipes where other flavor profiles need to shine, or you just want to keep it really neutral. If you want to kick it up a notch, you can use whatever blend of chicken-friendly spices you want. Garlic, thyme, rosemary, paprika, anything goes here. The batch that I'm making for the oven has been seasoned with a packet of taco blend. So once you've got it seasoned up, simply cover and cook on low for 2 to 3 hours. That's it. No need to add liquids or fats. The chicken will release its own natural juices as it cooks. Cook times will vary depending on your crock pot. Mine runs a bit hot, so I set it for 2 hours to start and then I add more time if necessary. Just make sure that your internal temperature reaches at least 165 degrees. My oven batch went in at 275 degrees in a covered roasting pan. You could also use a Dutch oven or a pan covered with foil. This was done after about 90 minutes. Once your chicken is cooked, let the chicken rest on a plate for at least 10 to 20 minutes before shredding or cutting it. This really helps keep all those juices in the meat. And as for the liquid at the bottom of your pot, don't toss that. You're going to want to save that for later, especially if you plan to freeze some of the meat. From here, you can shred it, cube it, or leave it whole depending on how you plan to use it. So for my meal plan this week, I will be making a lightened up chicken salad for easy lunches, a hearty burrito bowl using some components that I've already prepped from my freezer, and a guilt-free high-protein pasta that feels way more indulgent than it is. Each of these meals delivers between 40 to 50 plus grams of protein per serving, and I've got the full recipes and nutritional info in the description below. So I kind of forgot how good this classic actually is. This version uses both Greek yogurt and mayonnaise, so you get that creamy texture with a boost of protein and less fat. So here's what you'll need for 4 generous portions. 1 large stalk of celery, finely diced, half a medium red onion, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried dill or a 1/4 cup of fresh, coarsely chopped, about a pound of shredded chicken, half a cup of plain Greek yogurt plus a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and I'm also adding half a teaspoon of celery seed, of course, some salt and black pepper. So to a medium bowl, you're going to add your celery, onion, and dill, mix those up to combine. Next, add your shredded chicken to the bowl and again give it a mix. In a smaller bowl, you're going to whisk together the lemon juice, the yogurt, mayonnaise, and Dijon mustard, and then add your celery seeds. These are optional. Give it a really good mix, and once it's nicely blended, You're gonna add that back into the bowl with the chicken and mix well to combine. Now, if the chicken is still a bit warm, it's actually easier to mix, and I find that the flavors just seem to get absorbed differently. Next, you will season it to taste with salt and black pepper. This salad is delicious on its own, in a sandwich, spooned onto lettuce leaves, or like this, spread onto these high protein bagels for a filling and satisfying lunch. This combination has 54 grams of protein and 528 calories. Don't be afraid to change it up a little bit. You can make variations of this salad depending on the season and what you have available in your kitchen. You can add seedless grapes, some diced apples, maybe even some chopped walnuts or pecans, whatever tickles your fancy. I store it in the fridge for up to 5 days in a sealed or lidded container. Next up, this is where component prepping really shines. When it comes to bowls, there's really no limit to the combinations that you can have. A classic Nourish bowl will contain a protein, some leafy greens and veggies, a complex carb or a grain, and healthy fats. For the base of my bowl today, I'm pulling rice, quinoa, and black beans from my freezer stash. These have been thawed overnight in the fridge. So I like to use a combination of rice and quinoa for an extra boost of fiber and protein. You still get that nice fluffy rice element with the chewy, nutty texture of quinoa. I start by adding my grains to the bottom of my dish. I'm using 1 cup, followed by some crispy romaine lettuce. Next, I'll add my chicken. I've got about 4 ounces here, followed by some black beans. Next, I'll add a generous portion of guacamole. This is actually guacamole from my freezer. I always make extra to freeze in these little cubes. It thaws beautifully and tastes amazing. So I don't have any fresh tomato salsa. I'm just gonna add some from a jar to my plate. No judgment here. And finally, some chopped green onions that I needed to use up. But red onion is also really tasty. Of course, you can add more veggies here. You can add some shredded cheese or additional dressing if you like. As is, this bowl comes in at 47 grams of protein and 525 calories. It keeps me full for hours without feeling heavy. So you can also eat these bowls warm. You just simply heat up your grains and proteins first before adding your fresh, cold ingredients to the top. It's so versatile. And finally, if pasta ever feels like cheating, this one is for you. So I am loving these high protein pastas that you can find now at the grocery store. Not only are you getting more protein per serving, but they are also usually higher in fiber as well, which ultimately gives you fewer net carbs if you're into that. Another bonus about prepping pasta dishes to have for later is the fact that when you cook it and then cool the pasta for at least 24 hours, you're actually increasing its resistant starch content, which acts like fiber in your system. So you're reducing its glycemic index and its impact on your blood sugar. Plus, it helps you stay fuller for longer. So pasta's back on the table, you guys. This recipe uses a full box of pasta for 4 hearty servings. I'm using this penne from Catelli, but you can use any shape of pasta that you like. Bring a pot of water to the boil, don't forget to salt your water, and cook according to package directions. Just before it's finished cooking, remove about a cup of the cooking water to use for the sauce later. So for this dish, you will need some cooked chicken. I'm using about 3 ounces per serving, cottage cheese, garlic, pecorino cheese, salt, pepper, some chili flakes, and that pasta water. To make the sauce, we're going to add all of our ingredients except for the pasta water to the food processor. You can also use a blender here. We're gonna blend that up until it's thick and creamy. You really want a nice, smooth texture. Next, we'll add in our pasta water. Start with about a half a cup. You'll have some more to add later for when you're blending it all into the pasta. Once it's all nicely blended together, pour all of this back into the pot that you cooked your pasta in and heat very gently to warm it up over the stove. Be sure not to overheat here just to avoid the sauce from separating. Once it's heated through, you can add your cooked pasta back into the pot and stir to combine. Here you can add more pasta water if you need to get a nice creamy consistency, and of course, adjust for seasoning as needed. Okay, so I'm gonna be portioning this out 2 ways here. I'm gonna be making 2 servings to have this week, so I'll be using these lidded glass storage containers. Each serving has 2 cups of the prepared pasta, and then I'll add my chicken to each dish, and voila. To heat this up, I will just pop it into the microwave or warm it up in a pan on the stove top. I like to add a little bit of milk or water just to restore some of that creaminess. Each serving packs 55 grams of protein and 555 calories. I love having this with a side of steamed broccoli just to round out the meal. Look at how yummy that looks. So next, I'm gonna portion out the last 2 servings into my silicone trays to store in the freezer for later. I'm not adding any chicken here, just in case I want to eat it with a different protein. This pasta goes great with grilled shrimp or heated up with some cubed ham and green peas, 2 of my favorite combinations. Once the cubes are frozen, you can simply pop them out of the trays and store them in a freezer bag. Just be sure to remove as much air as possible to avoid freezer burn. Which brings me to my tips for freezing cooked chicken that I mentioned earlier. I do this 2 ways. So first, I'm gonna use my freezer trays again. This is the 1 cup size, which is great for single servings. I'm gonna weigh this out into 4-ounce portions, and this is where you'll be needing that cooking liquid from earlier. If you don't have any liquid, you could also use some broth. Either way, it really helps to keep the chicken from drying out when you thaw it and reheat it. Another way that I've been storing cooked chicken is simply in a vacuum sealed bag. No liquid necessary. If you're gonna do it this way, I highly recommend you do a pre-freeze first, especially if the chicken is shredded or cubed. This helps the chicken retain its shape when you remove the air from the freezer bag. I've got links to both of these products in the description below if you want to check them out. And so there you have it, chicken prep made easy. A little bit of effort up front really pays off down the road. When you're stuck for time or inspiration, you can simply grab a portion from the freezer, toss it into a stir fry, add it to a quesadilla, or even to a bowl of broth with some chopped veggies for a quick and nourishing soup. And if you're curious about batch or component prepping, I've got a whole playlist of videos right here that you might want to check out. And if today's video inspired you to think about eating or meal prepping differently, or if you've got other tips for making chicken breast more exciting, why not let me know in the comments below? I love hearing from all of you and really appreciate your ideas and feedback, so keep it coming. And if you haven't already done so, why not hit that subscribe and notification button so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. We're taking care of our future selves over here, one meal at a time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.